This is Debbie Potts, and today I wanted to dive into a special episode about another why. Why is NAD therapy so popular around North San Diego, and I'm sure where you are as well, at different clinics offering NAD therapy via injections, IV, lotion, supplements? What's the big deal about NAD?
Welcome to the Low Carb Athlete Podcast, where we focus on discussing topics to help you burn fat, optimize health, and improve performance in life and sports. Transform the whole you from the inside out with the holistic method. Let's dive in. Here's your host, Debbie Potts.
Hey, are you an aging athlete? Are you over 40 and struggling to get your desired results? I understand your frustrations. If you're like me, you're trying to get your running back or your cycling back or whatever sport you love to do, and you just can't figure out what's missing in your performance gains. How is your training and fueling program working for you? That's what I do. I personalize your nutrition and health program for you based on a bunch of different things. We collect data, collect clues from nutritional therapy assessment, from a food log with symptoms. Look at your genetics. If you've done something as DNA fit, look at blood chemistry panels. Let's look at functional lab tests as a Vibrant Wellness wheat zoomer to test if you have leaky gut and sensitivity to wheat, peptides in foods. Look at food sensitivity labs. And Dutch tests, look at your hormones. So we look at all these hidden internal sources of chronic stress that may be impacting your ability to burn fat, improve performance, and longevity. So if you want to talk about how we can personalize your fueling, training, and performance plan, let me know. Set up a discovery call. Head to my website, debbiepotts.net, and reach out. Set up a call and we can chat about how I can help you be the best version of yourself. So you can stop blaming the aging process and instead change your mindset that you're embracing the change, that we train differently in our 40s and up versus what you did when you're 20, 30-year-old. We need to adjust how we eat, when we eat, why and how, but also match our nutrition with our exercise program and add some more health building lifestyle habits into our day. I call this all the holistic method comprehensive coaching program, where I work on individualizing clients' nutrition, exercise, stress reduction, sleep, movement, time outside, digestion and gut health, hydration, and my favorite, happiness, play, and laughter. So if you want to know more how you can be your best self, live your best life, and perform your best, head to debbiepotts.net, schedule a discovery call with me, and we can get started on your new health building journey. You can be that amazing athlete and stop blaming the aging process. If you're like me, you may always wonder why. Why does this happen? How does this work? Why do we need this? What is the research behind it? That is how I feel lately when I'm networking in North San Diego, because I'm newer here and trying to connect with other functional medicine practitioners, naturopaths, and wellness clinics. And part of my journey here lately is looking at all these clinics around here: La Jolla, Del Mar, Solana Beach, Encinitas, Carlsbad. And there's a common pattern. One, everyone's doing these great membership packages, but two, everyone seems to be doing IV injections and focusing on NAD therapy. So I wanted to look into why, as I had a sample of NAD injection last Friday, and I felt it amazingly right away, this burst of energy. And so I really wanted to go into the research behind it and wonder why, what was happening? What did I just inject into my body with a needle into my belly? And why is it creating this surge of energy? And I looked up the website of where I got the injection from, It's called the Wellness Institute of La Jolla. So check out, I'll put the link in the show notes because you can order this online. And then we'll go into some research I found on PubMed, and I always go to Sean Wells, the ingredientologist. What is NAD article we'll talk about next. But to go into what is NAD therapy, what is NAD, let's look at some information here from the Wellness Institute in La Jolla. So NAD therapy is often used as a potential treatment for various conditions as chronic fatigue, neurodegenerative disorders, age-related cognitive decline. The therapy's main goal is to increase NAD levels in the body, which can enhance cellular function and potentially promote overall health and wellness or well-being. Now, the benefits of NAD include energy production. NAD is involved in cellular respiration, the process by which cells convert nutrients as glucose and fatty acids into energy in the form of ATP. So you may have heard of that before. Energy production is key for us athletes. And then we go into DNA repair. NAD is involved in DNA repair processes. It serves as a substrate for enzymes called poly-ADP ribose, polymercerable, and this is why they call it PARPs, which plays a crucial role in repairing damaged DNA strands. Another important benefit for the aging athlete. Also, sirtuin activation, you may have heard about on other shows. NAD is essential for the activation of this class of enzymes called sirtuins. Sirtuins are involved in various cellular processes, including DNA repair, gene regulation, metabolism, and longevity. So we can do a nasal spray, we can do an injection, we have option to do the IV infusions. I find doing these injections were pretty simple and you can just painless and do it at home. So let's look at what is NAD for one. I should have said that first, but it's a coenzyme of niacin. Niacin is also called vitamin B3. This exists naturally in every cell. Niacin exists as nicotinic acid and nicotinamide. Obviously, I butcher the names always. NAD takes part in over 100 metabolic functions in the cells. Its main function is energy production, very important for normal functioning and well-being. Now, let's go into what it does. What does NAD do? Why is this being sold and advertised everywhere? Well, replicates, protects, and repairs cells. That's pretty important. Enhances production of neurotransmitters. Very important as we age because this improves memory, concentration, and mood. Some information just came out on how NAD can benefit ADHD. Also, efficiently utilizing nutrients to provide the energy the cells need to function optimally. Detoxification, a very essential part of our health and well-being. This removes the waste. Liver detoxification is super essential, but especially in the brain, because if we don't move that waste out of the brain, that interferes with our neurotransmitters. So you might hear of glyphatic drainage, which happens when we sleep, and that is obviously an important part of why I prioritize sleep and my recovery repair, not just my body, but also brain detoxification. Also, NAD increases our nitric oxide production, very important for athletes because this improves blood flow and blood pressure. Another benefit, improves vascular endothelial integrity, very important. Reverses insulin resistance, another key item, which I would love everyone to know what their insulin level is. Doctors are not testing this, and you can order it yourself on Own Your Own Labs or Ulta Labs for $10, $14. So you should know what insulin is because doctors Don't do it unless you're diabetic, and then it's a little late. So get it done, be preventative. But NAD reverses insulin resistance and quickly establishes blood glucose regulation. So very fascinating. If we could do NAD therapy before and after doing my resting metabolic test and a glucose test and looking at blood chemistry panel, super fun to stack NAD with your metabolic metabolism because we can measure how much fat to carbohydrates you're burning at rest. So that'd be fun to do. Okay, let's go on. The brain uses 10 times more NAD for energy. Amazing. It is protective for the cells. NAD has important neuroprotective function. NAD boosts metabolism and may help lose weight. Well, that would kind of tie into insulin resistance and establishes blood glucose regulation. I would think that works together, as well as it helps utilize nutrients to produce energy. We said earlier, but I think all this just helps us be more efficient and get the body to work as it should be. It's its own innate intelligence needs a little boost as we get a little lower supply of things as we age. So NAD obviously does make a difference. If we could test and not guess, what is NAD doing? If we can look at some baseline data, take some NAD supplementation and retest, and then we can get some biomarkers that would be more productive maybe or motivating to follow a supplement plan if you know if it's making a difference. So let's go into what Shawn Wells says about NAD in his research. All right, let's geek out a little bit more about the benefits of NAD therapy. Or are they necessary? Do you need to spend more money on supplementation, or can you get this just by eating real food? So, looking up online, what are the benefits of NAD for endurance athletes, for aging, for skin health, for metabolic health? So, I went to ChatGPT and then I looked at Shawn Wells and Dr. Axe. They always have great blogs. Now, how would NAD help the endurance athlete? As we push our bodies to the limit, sometimes too much, requires high levels of energy and efficient recovery mechanisms. NAD has been a big interest to our athletic world for a while, with its potential to enhance athletic performance. So by increasing our NAD levels, athletes can optimize their cellular energy production, particularly in the mitochondria, where the majority of energy is generated. Excuse me. This leads to improved stamina and endurance, allowing athletes to train harder, I would say smarter, recover faster, and perform better in competition. Moreover, NAD helps combat the oxidative stress associated with intense exercise. And this oxidative stress topic I've been trying to go into a little bit more is really important to manage with our right recovery protocols with nutrition and lifestyle habits. So if you want to improve the aging process, another reason NAD may be something you may need. Minimizing the risk of injury and promoting quicker recovery is really essential as well for us athletes. Now, aging. I'm all about slowing down the clock, improving the aging process, live simply ageless, whatever. That is me right now. I'm over 50. I think I'm 35. Well, maybe I think I'm 45 years old, but I am really passionate about doing what I can, taking ownership of my health and my journey, focusing on how I want to be living my life when I'm older. My future self is what I'm creating now. So how could we slow down the aging clock or improve the aging process? NAD, would this help me improve how I age? So as we grow older, NAD levels naturally decline, which is associated with various cellular processes declining as well. This can lead to signs of aging. So NAD supplementation injections, IV, can potentially slow down this aging process because it supports our DNA repair and promotes healthy cellular function. Some studies suggest that NAD may even help protect against age-related diseases as neurodegenerative conditions, diabetes, and cardiovascular issues. By bolstering up our NAD levels, individuals can improve their overall well-being and maintain a more youthful appearance and vitality. And that is personally my goal, especially if it's just my birthday. I am doing whatever I can to improve my health. But what I really want to improve, because this is where I feel old, looking old, are the wrinkles around my eyes. I mean, puffy, swollen, kind of edema going on. And I swim a few days a week in an outdoor pool in the sunshine, which is amazing, but also not so good for my skin health. So I was looking up, could NAD help my skin look radiant as I age? Because that is what I need to protect. Even more so now that I moved from Seattle to North San Diego, where the weather is amazing most of the year, that I need to really be careful because I'm in the outdoors a lot more. So NAD holds promise for those looking to maintain or enhance their skin health. Skin is the body's largest organ. Well, nowadays we're saying muscle is the body's largest organ, as Dr. Gabrielle points out. Now, this is particularly sensitive area to environmental stressors and aging. And as we're athletes exercising, bike ride outside, I'm going 3-4 hours on a Saturday, and I'm running 1.5 to 2 hours on a Sunday, and then swimming out in the pool at lunchtime. Well, this is going to damage my skin. So NAD may help me improve my DNA damage from in the skin cells and promote their proper function. Additionally, it says it will help protect the skin from harmful UV radiation, reducing the risk of sunburn and skin cancer, which is a big concern to me as I'm in the sun. So by supporting healthy skin cells, NAD can lead to a more radiant complexion, reduced signs of aging, and improved resistance to external stressors. Bingo, that's what I'm looking for. All right, metabolic health. I've been talking a lot about this because this is an important area. Even if you are fit and healthy on the outside, you may not be healthy on the inside. So really testing at least twice a year your comprehensive blood chemistry panel, ideally doing a GI map or GI type of stool test to know what's going on in your microbiome, is essential, I think, to improving your aging process and reversing or avoiding metabolic disease, right? So metabolic imbalance, metabolic health, we really want to look at what we can do to avoid that metabolic syndrome. So NAD plays a crucial role in regulating the metabolic processes, as we talked about, helps produce ATP by improving the mitochondria. So glucose metabolism, fat breakdown, insulin sensitivity can be improved as NAD plays a crucial role in these processes. And for the female athlete that's aging, we know when we lose estrogen and progesterone, we become more progesterone related. It's going to impact our insulin sensitivity. So we become insulin insensitive as we get pre or peri and post-menopausal. So by boosting NAD levels, we may improve our metabolic health, may be easier to manage our weight, control our blood sugar levels, and reduce the risk of course, metabolic disorders. This can be beneficial if you struggle with weight management or risk of developing diabetes, as my genetic reports always tell me I'm prone to type 2 diabetes, although no one in my immediate family has been ever diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, but I'm always curious. When my dad passed away last year, if he had insulin resistance because of all the stuff he had going on. But of course, doctors did not look at insulin and even acknowledge my request to look at his liver detox pathways and insulin. And if he was type 2 diabetic, they thought I was psycho. So metabolic health and aging is essential. I think looking at the future research, I think it's a big hot topic if you look at PubMed, but the research on the potential benefits of NAD supplementation with the capsules or a lotion or IV or injections, it's important to remember this is an ongoing new area of research coming out, and it takes so long to get the reports. But I think it's N=1 experiment a lot of times. So if you are tracking your glucose, your insulin, your CRP, inflammatory markers, managing your glucose day to day with a CGM or Keto Mojo, you might experiment with collecting baseline data, add in something new as NAD supplementation, and as we say, test and not guess to figure out, is this making a difference in my metabolism, in my metabolic markers, in my overall health, in my performance? So we don't know what we don't know. So if you don't have any baseline data to compare it to, it's really hard. So NAD supplementation may vary person to person, depending on individual factors as genetics, diet, and lifestyle. The best, of course, is to combine your healthy exercise program, doing your resistance training, doing your HIIT training, doing your zone 2 training, figuring out what your best nutrition is to keep your blood sugar stable and get proper sleep and recovery. So let's look at more research as looked at PubMed, and we want to remember that NAD is a precursor to vitamin B3. So looking up information, and you wonder what NAD is and why it's called NAD, because nicotinamide adenine-dinoglucotide is a mouthful. So looking at that NAD as a precursor to vitamin B3 supplements is important in that there's lots of research going on and randomized studies, and you always want to look at the studies, who were they done on, who funded the study, and how long was it on? Was it men and women? And what were the activity levels like, as well as other data? So we can dive into Sean Wells. We can look at Dr. Axe's information, but I'll put all the links in the show notes so you can learn more on your own. Just to review, Sean Wells, the ingredientologist, so go to seanwells.com. This is an article from 2022 in March. What is NAD? And let's just recap some of the top items here. What does NAD do? It plays a critical role, as we discussed, in energy metabolism by helping turn food into usable energy. It also helps certain enzymes involved in vital cellular functions, such as cellular repair and cellular defense. NAD has also been referred to the fundamental housekeeping molecule, a key molecule of cell signaling and survival pathways, as well as a modulator of longevity and health. So NAD, again, recapping, helps with regenerating cells, reducing inflammation, promoting healthy brain function, fighting chronic fatigue, and slowing cognitive decline. Now, right there, we're wondering if we should take NAD or not. Well, all those 5 items are what I'm working on, improving my future self. So recreating myself now so I can create my best self, my best future self when I'm 70, 80, 90, 100 years old. I need to do all this stuff now at age 50 plus 2. So why do we need NAD? Don't we get it enough through our food? Well, NAD levels, as everything, seems to drop as we age, and chronic inflammation causes a reduction in NAD levels. And a lot of my clients have chronic inflammation. If you look at the blood chemistry panel, look at your other functional lab tests, because we don't just look at one lab. We want to look at 3 to 5 labs and correlate and investigate and pick up those clues to look at the whole person and look at root cause medicine. So if you have chronic inflammation, it's never just from one thing, it's multiple external and internal reasons, but part of it could be not getting enough sleep, excess UV exposure, poor nutrition, an infection, this sedentary lifestyle. But I think if you are an athlete listening to this, tend to overtrain, and that can cause some inflammation as well in a roundabout way. So what else does Sean say? So as our bodies get older, we make less NAD, and it disappears faster than we were when we were younger. So by the time we hit 50, our NAD levels are half of what they were when we were younger, making it all the more necessary to find ways to boost NAD so we can combat this. So what can we do? Well, we want to look at, of course, improving energy, increasing our metabolism. We want to get the energy we need to improve our performance, right? So we're putting in all this hard work and dedication to our nutrition and our exercise and recovery program. But how do we make it even more efficient, even get more results from what we are doing? Well, we hear from other people that fasting is a great way to increase NAD levels. But what I've been talking about a lot the past year is fasting. It doesn't work more than 12 hours for the fit and active individual. Now, if you look at this sentence, I'm looking at Sean Wells' website here. Fasting and exercise are known to increase NAD levels. High intensity interval training is especially effective at combating age-related reduction in NAD levels. There are also 2 bioactive dietary flavonoids that are especially effective when it comes to inhibiting what's called the CD38 apinogen found in parsley, chamomile, oregano, and celery. And we've heard of quercetin found in apples, red onions, cherries, red grapes, and raspberries. Note, those are all similar color. Red onions, red apples, or it doesn't say red apples, but apples, I think, are red. Cherries, obviously, are cherry, reddish. Red grapes, red. Raspberries, raspberry, red. Yes, right? So we see red fruits, vegetables. Now, you can do an NAD IV, which will help you get a higher dose of niacin. You can take what we've heard about too, NMN or NR supplements, as well as what I just got another one of, red light therapy. So, oops, getting windy outside. So remember what I said, fasting and exercise. So we have to look at the benefits of fasting. Those that are still fasting too much may want to look at, if you are fasting and doing a regular exercise program that includes HIIT training, you may be fasting too much, and that can be hindering your weight loss and performance as well as longevity goals. So we want to go revisit those episodes on fasting too much, doing that 16-8 intermittent fasting. You'll hear a lot of the podcast talking for wellness and longevity and performance gains for athletes. People are wondering, maybe I was doing fasting too much. So you'll hear my friend Mike Mutzel and my friend Brad Kearns, and you hear Thomas DeLauer. Everyone's that's an athlete is going, maybe we don't need to do 16-8 every day. So we have to look at what my lovely friend Dr. Mindy Pelz talks about fasting. And all of those protocols she has people do are amazing for people that are metabolically unhealthy. Our audience on this show is a fit and active individual that ideally is metabolically healthy, but probably most of you are not because we're exercising a lot. So going back to improving NAD levels, well, the fasting part I would skip and focusing on the right type of exercise to increase NAD levels, which would be HIIT training. And if you listen to my 2 episodes with my mentor on metabolic analysis training, would talk about zone 5 out of 5 zones. So zone 4 and 5 are going to be your HIIT training. Zone 5 top end would be your sit training, and proper HIIT training. That's really what we want to be talking about to get these benefits are going to top zone 4, top of zone 5, coming all the way down to zone 1. Once you're down in zone 1, you had enough rest-based recovery training, you go back up. Now, most of you are just staying there, so that isn't actually HIIT training. That would just be a tempo workout. You're probably in zone 3. So if you are looking at all the amazing benefits of HIIT training, 1, do it properly. Zone 4, zone 5, all the way to zone 1, or repeat 5 to 10 times. It should not be any more than 20 minutes total time, plus your warm up, plus your warm down, 2 to 3 times a week. This should not be done back-to-back days because you're probably not recovered enough to go hard again to zone 5. So different topic, but I've been talking a lot about that on other episodes. Okay, so back to NAD. Now, I would look at some of these blood tests, even Sean's talking about this in here, that there's important blood markers that everyone should get tested. Again, more than once a year, because a year's a long time. So get them at least twice a year to get a good idea of how well your mitochondria are functioning. So how do you know? You don't know what you don't know. So test and not guess your CRP, which is called high sensitivity C-reactive protein. We want to also look at your A1C. So HbA1c is your hemoglobin, A1C, and then your oxidized low density lipoprotein. That is, those 3 markers are going to be beneficial to see how well your mitochondria are functioning. You can also look at an organic acids test, as we call it the OATS test, and that's great metabolic markers on your mitochondria, as well as some other tests you can get as through Genova Diagnostics and Vibrant Wellness. So we order them on Rupa Health, so we can get all those labs for you if you're interested. Now, what's so important about your mitochondria? Well, as an athlete, we should know we want good energy to work out and to work out hard and to recover. If you want to change your body composition, to lose fat weight, we want to have good mitochondria. So we want to look at being more resilient. So resiliency is a key word in everything, right? So we don't want to overdo anything. Now, to look at mitochondrial resiliency as an underrated and appreciated part of health, Sean Wells talks about it will be a major focus in the future, as nearly every disease and almost all biological aging can be tied back to mitochondrial health. And feeling of having enough energy is directly related to the robust mitochondrial health. So we'll see more mitochondria supplements in the future, as you'll hear from Mito Pure podcasts coming out soon, before or after this episode. Now, what are 3 biomarker tests that can help you understand your energy levels? Well, Sean Wells talks about vitamin D3, and as an FDN health practitioner, we look at vitamin D to be up around 60 to 80 on your test. So really looking at vitamin D3 from a different lens is going to be different ranges that are on your doctor's lab tests that you'll get through your annual checkup. And make sure you ask for vitamin D3, as well as your iron and ferritin and full thyroid panel, as well as really get them to do insulin. But the ranges from your doctor, remember, listen to my other episode on blood chemistry testing, is normal. That's based on sick, unhealthy people. You don't want to be normal, especially if you're an athlete. You want to be a high performer, and you want to look at optimal functional lab ranges. So vitamin D3, what's your iron level, ferritin levels, as Sean talks about how oxygen is required to produce energy. And that's why I do metabolic testing. We're looking at your oxygen consumption and analyzing your breath and your energy and metabolism, because oxygen is required to produce energy. And carbon dioxide we measure as well, obviously, because you exhale. So iron levels also we want to look at, because that is determining your oxygen carrying capacity. So really important to your metabolism, your energy. And then, of course, a full thyroid panel, as I discussed in the other episode on the blood chemistry panel show. So get those done, or go to Own Your Own Labs and get them for super cheap, or Ulta Labs under my name, Debbie Potts Coaching. You can get a 20% off coupon when you log in there. Now, Sean Wells also talks about how we can examine our energy baseline. So if you're on a budget, you don't want to spend money, I get it. So here's some questions Sean talks about. Ask yourself this question. You can answer it to yourself right now. How do you feel when you wake up? Are you wide awake, or is it a struggle to get out of bed every day? Answer that or write it down. Next question. Do you have energy towards the end of the day, or are you dragging? Okay, answer that. How difficult are daily tasks such as walking your dog, carrying the groceries, and taking the stairs? Are they harder than they were in the past? Ask yourself that. What is your emotional state? Are you less emotive or interactive? Are you avoiding social interaction and pushing people away? I could talk about that one a while. I really see COVID, this is a side note, rabbit hole, another day, but how many people do you see at the gym talk to each other? Everyone's got their earbuds on and even have their ear pods on before they come into the gym. They're not talking as they used to just have short conversations. And when you see people every day, no longer, not the same. And then when you meet with friends, I just had a random group of friends I put together all the time. How many people are losing their ability to small talk with people they do not know? Working at home, working remote, or maybe the lockdown, people do not know how to communicate. And the problem with cell phone addiction and always have to be checking your phone, people do not know how to communicate. So going back to that question, what is your emotional state and how you may be avoiding social interaction and pushing people away? Energy levels, yes, but is there something else there too? That was my observation. Now, do you get sugar, caffeine, or other stimulant cravings regularly? Another good question to ask about your energy. Do you have any addictive behaviors? Do you crave dopamine hits? Like you have to do something every day to feel good. Now, another good, interesting one is your hair healthy and are your eyes bright? That's going to give you some signs and symptoms of your energy and your metabolism. Now, last one, how is your circulation in your hands and your feet? That's a common one for low thyroid. So when I do my client coaching, I use our nutritional therapy practitioner intake forms, which has 309 questions to go through. Doesn't take that long, but say half an hour. And you're going to answer them how frequently they occur. And then we can see correlations to how that symptoms is related to function of your body, as liver, gut health, leaky gut, small intestine, large intestine, thyroid, mineral imbalance, blah, blah, blah. But similar to here, you can see these patterns of circulation in your hands and feet. Do you have to have caffeine every morning? Do you have to have sugar? So we can learn a lot about you. So that is a great article on NAD and what it does from Sean Wells. And then you can look at another one by Dr. Josh Axe's team on NAD and how you can supplement, the benefits of supplements and then ways to increase it naturally. So remember, it's a coenzyme found in humans, animals, yeast, and basically all living things. So NAD is a coenzyme needed in the body to allow other enzymes to work. So coenzyme, it's like a supporter to help things function better. So the basic definition of NAD, that it's a cofactor found in all living things, as I just said, but it's involved in what we've been discussing, energy metabolism, and is in a number of bodily processes that allow life to be possible. So it may, taking NAD or getting it from your food, again, you can read this on Dr. Axe's site, but it's just repeating what I've already said. But NAD can directly and indirectly influence many key cellular functions, including metabolic pathways, DNA repair, chromatin remodeling, and cellular senescence and immune cell function. So another article filled with information how NAD supplementation can help with healthy aging benefits as improved energy and mental clarity and alertness, and helping with our memory and our enhanced athletic performance and muscle function, cardiovascular support, chronic fatigue syndrome, skin aging, and vision loss. Another thing I've been struggling with, my eyes. I cannot read anything, and I refuse to wear reader glasses. So I'm really struggling. So another reason for me to do NAD. Now, you can look at what is the difference between NAD and NAD plus, good information, and what are NAD enzymes are what are the precursors. And I won't go into all that, but good information as well as how your body uses NAD and all about sirtuins and the benefits. Again, I really think for us athletically looking at improved performance and our aging process is using NAD to help restore mitochondrial function. As they've shown that NAD depletion is associated with aging-related neurodegenerative disorders, and the supplements and treatment with NAD precursors can help restore mitochondrial function. Also, looking at how it might repair blood vessels, muscle function, repair cells, damage DNA, cognitive function, help prevent age-related weight gain. I think that's more to helps with regulating production of stress and appetite-related hormones, helping circadian rhythm. So much interesting information. I just want to share with you as I was curious why everyone's doing NAD and wanted to share why. So a couple things Dr. Axe's group says on this blog, how to increase NAD levels naturally, as we started to talk about. Now, consuming cow's milk, yeast, and beer, which research shows contains small amounts of NAD precursors. Most people can't do cow dairy, but raw cow dairy. Consuming high protein foods, keto diet, increasing ketone levels may increase NAD levels. According to some studies, consider using a herbal supplement called Yohimbe, Yohimbe, never heard of that one. Exercise regularly, which you do already. Intermittent fasting, which we do too much. If you're me, we need to do the 12 to 15 hours fasting, not 16-8, and avoiding high alcohol intake. And if you're like me and most of my athletic friends, no one's really drinking anymore. And especially if you use Oura or Whoop, you know why not to drink alcohol at night, as well as not eat dinner or food close to bed, because your sleep score is in the garbage if you have alcohol. And side effects and final thoughts, I think really good information here. So what can you do? Well, look locally if you want to try supplement or IV injection, or head to the wellness clinic or the Wellness Institute of La Jolla if you want to order NAD. Let's see how much the injection. I did this last week. Now they can ship it to you, self-administer it, a shot in there, and there's one-time purchase. That's 5 milliliters or 200 milliliters, 10 to 20 injection supply, or you can get 2 bottles, 20 to 40 injections. So I would check that out. Pretty cool. I don't know how much it is, but that was what I wanted to share. If you've had experiences, let me know with NAD supplementation. I'm curious to know if you felt more energy, more brain clarity, memory is improved. I would actually like to be able to improve my eyesight as my eyes are getting blurry. Eyesight is blurry. And also, of course, weight loss. My thyroid's super low, so if it helps improve thyroid function in a roundabout way, energy production, there's so many benefits that I think I need, but you know, all these different supplements add up. They're very expensive, so you need to choose wisely if you're on a budget. And I think a lot of people are over supplementing. So I always like to do a supplement audit with my clients, figure out, okay, what do you need to take right now? Let's cycle things in and out. And as with everything we do, variation seems to be more effective than doing the same thing all the time. So varying when you eat, what you eat, your time restricted eating window when you're not eating, you know, those hours should maybe change, and looking at your exercising window, what you're doing, your intensity, your resistance training, your intervals, you know, mixing things up, I think is good sometimes. We want our natural circadian rhythm of when we get up and go to bed to be consistent, but maybe the workout itself should change slightly, and supplements and timing your supplements with your energy production and relaxation time of the day, NAD hypes you up. So I would not take it at nighttime. I would maybe do it in the morning or first half of the day, because I did feel like I just had a shot of alcohol. It was very stimulating. So taking NAD at nighttime would not be good. I did used to take True Niagen for years, which is similar to help our NAD. But I find that I've read over the years that how many, you get supplements that you take, you only get 20% of it in. So I'd rather do injections or IVs, and even lotions, something that's liposomal supplements, something that gets into your body, as I don't think I break down all the different supplements I take. So less is more. Prioritize what you need. Try not to do everything at once, and figure out what your goals are, what are your areas of opportunity, and have a periodization or block schedule that maybe, as Stacey Sims says for workout, 2 weeks on, 1 week off for women that are postmenopausal. Maybe cycle in your supplements like that too. All right. Those are my thoughts for today. Share your experience with your NAD therapy or your mitochondria health journeys that you've been doing. Your own biohacking experience for mitochondria health, for metabolic health, and improving the aging process. Send your questions, comments, and feedback to Debbie Potts on the website, debbiepotts.net. Thank you. Hey, my fellow aging endurance athletes, just a reminder, if you like what you listened to today, make sure to share this episode with your community. Head to debbiepotts.net to set up a free discovery call to learn more about my personalized coaching programs, especially if you are on a mission as myself to improve the aging process and start training to be my best self when I am 80, 90 years old. So I am on a mission to live my best life and be my best self the second half of my life. So if you're on the same mission as me, head over to my website and YouTube channel to learn more ways to improve the whole you from the inside out with the holistic method.
Thanks for listening to the Low Carb Athlete Podcast. If you have any questions, feedback, or topic suggestions, let us know on Facebook or at debbiepotts.net. You can help us continue and grow by leaving a review on iTunes. Thanks again, and see you next time.